So you're in the market for some of these guys, but you don't exactly know what you should be buying. Well, don't worry, we've got you covered. Before we make any decisions about the cymbals we want to buy, we should at least know the differences. Let's have a look at the basic cymbals that you need for your drum kit. First off, we need hi-hats, generally found between a 13 and a 15 inch. 14 inch seems to be the most popular option. Next up we have the crash cymbal, which can be found in a 14 to a 20 inch. 16, 17 and 18 seem to be the popular sizes. Lastly, we have the ride cymbal, which can be found in a 20 inch, a 21 inch or a 22 inch. Remember, there are variations of these sizes. As an example, you can find a 12-inch hi-hat, or you might even find a 24-inch ride cymbal. Luckily, you can buy all of the popular sizes in pre-made packs. All of the big manufacturers are kind enough to offer a form of a cymbal pack in almost every price range. Now, before you guys go shouting at me, there are other cymbals as well. These are called effects cymbals. These include cymbals like stacks, chinas, and splashes. Generally, these are used as add-ons to the basic cymbals. These effect cymbals help to create some different tones within the cymbal range. Alright, so now that we have an idea of the basic cymbals that we need for our drum kit, let's have a look at all of the aspects that affect the sound. We can break this down into 5 main categories. This would be the alloy of the cymbal, the size of the cymbal, the weight of the cymbal, the finish that they've used on the cymbal, as well as if it has any form of hammering. Alright, so let's break them down, starting with the alloy, which will affect the price and the sound. The most affordable cymbals are generally made from brass. Brass is pretty easy to work with and quite affordable. Unfortunately, it offers a pretty straightforward sound. It can often sound quite harsh, and it doesn't have a lot of sustain. For a single brass cymbal, you could be paying anywhere between $80 and $150. For a brass cymbal pack, it will be a bit more expensive, and you can expect to pay anywhere between $300 and $450, depending on the pack that you choose. Up next, we have the mid-tier price section, where cymbals are generally made of B8 or B10 bronze. This is a mixture of tin and copper. For B8 bronze, we have 8% tin and 92% copper. For B10 brass, we have 10% tin and 90% copper. This alloy is a bit more difficult to work with, and for this reason it is also a bit more expensive. It offers you a more complex tone, which means it sounds warmer and smoother, and it offers you more sustain and more overtones. For a single cymbal, you could expect to pay anywhere between $120 and $220. For a cymbal pack, it could be anywhere between $300 and $550. Taking a step up from this, we get to the professional level cymbals, which are coincidentally also the most expensive. These cymbals are made from an alloy called B20 bronze. This would be 20% tin and 80% copper. This is the most expensive alloy, but it is also the most difficult to work with. For this reason, these cymbals are the most expensive. These cymbals offer you the most complex tone and also the most versatility. This is why they are the choice for most professional drummers, whether that be in studio or in a live environment. You can expect to pay anywhere from $300 to $600 for a single cymbal. Cymbal packs are even more expensive. You can expect to pay anywhere between $1,000 and $2,500, depending on the pack that you choose. We have to mention that in the professional series cymbals, there will be a lot more packs to choose from. Just a quick interjection. If you feel like you found this video informative and you've learned something, please remember to subscribe to this channel, like this video, and just click on that notification button so you don't miss any of our future uploads. Getting back into it, the second factor that we have to look at is the size of the cymbal. This one is pretty simple. The bigger the cymbal, the lower the pitch or the fundamental note. Big cymbals have become quite a popular trend in modern day music. Remember that in the more expensive cymbal ranges, you will have a lot more options in terms of size. Next up is the weight of the cymbal. Yes, the larger the cymbal gets, the heavier it is supposed to be, but the thickness of the cymbal also plays a big role. Thinner cymbals often offer you less stick definition, but it does offer you more wash. That means that you can get it to crash at lower volume. This would be ideal for smaller venues or intimate shows. It's also ideal for the drummer that doesn't play too loud. Thicker cymbals offer you more stick definition, but they're a bit harder to crash. That means that you need to hit it harder to get the cymbal to sound like a crash. Thicker cymbals offer you great volume and great projection. These are awesome for outdoor or live shows. It's not quite as nice for a smaller, intimate show where you need lower volume. So I don't know about you guys, but if you're like me and you don't play a lot of big venues, then the thinner cymbals come in handy. Alright, so the next thing we need to consider is the finish of the cymbal. Let's have a look at the different finishes that you can get. First up, we have the brilliant or highly polished finish. This finish boosts the high frequencies of the cymbal. This means that you get a brighter tone with a lot more shimmer. These cymbals are excellent for a situation where you need them to cut through the mix. Examples of these include the Zildjian A Custom Series, Sabian AAX, and Meinl Bison's Brilliant. Next in line is the traditional or lathed finish. This finish is generally matte or slightly glossy. These cymbals will sound a bit warmer and a bit darker than their highly polished counterparts. They allow for good stick definition, but also for really nice wash. This is probably the most versatile and balanced finish, and is great for almost every genre. Examples of these cymbals would include the Zildjian K family, as well as Sabian HHX and Pasty 2002s. Alright, so up next is the raw finish. These cymbals are often very dark and rough looking. This finish offers you a very dry, earthy, almost trashy sound. It also offers you very short sustain, which can often sound almost percussive. These cymbals often have a very explosive sound, but it doesn't have much wash. Two great examples of these would be the Bison's Extra Dry, as well as the Zildjian K Custom Special Dry. Next up, we have the sandblasted finish. In sound, it's closer to the traditional finish, except it might be slightly darker. With this finish, the sound often resembles that of vintage cymbals. It might have slightly less stick definition, but it gives you great wash. These cymbals are great for the player that's looking for a slightly drier, yet a very versatile sound. Examples of these would be something like the Meinl Bison's Sand series, or something like the Zildjian Kerub series. Alright, so next up we have hammering. Hammering a cymbal improves its sustain and creates more complex overtones. I know this sounds very technical, but in short, it's adding to the sound of the cymbal. So there are two kinds of hammering, which would be machine hammered or hand hammered. Smaller, more consistent hammering marks, which is often machine hammering, offers a tighter sounding cymbal with better projection. Bigger, more erratic indentations, which is often hand hammering, offers you more sustain and more overtones. Manufacturers would often choose a form of hammering to go hand in hand with the finish and the thickness of the cymbal to create a specific sound. Most of the time, affordable series cymbals will not have any form of hammering. You'll have a lot more options to choose from in the more expensive cymbal ranges. Alright, so now we get to the million-dollar question. What cymbals should I buy? Well, if money was no object, I'd say just buy the most expensive cymbals and buy a lot of them. If you're like me and price is definitely something to consider, then I would have a look at the following. Firstly, aim to get the basics. That would be hi-hat, crash, and ride. If you already have these, then we could look at some add-on or effects cymbals. If you are a first-time buyer, or you're a beginner, or you're just somebody that's looking for a cymbal to practice on, I would say buy the most affordable set of cymbals. All of the brands offer a pretty decent starter's cymbal pack. It's a good intro to cymbals, it's affordable, and it's something that you can play with. If you're somebody that's looking to upgrade from a beginner level cymbal, then the B8 or the B10 cymbals are a good bet. Once again, buying a pack will be excellent value for money. In this price range, the cymbals become a little bit more complex in sound. At least you will have some options in terms of the finish and the size. If you are a recording or a gigging artist, try and buy the professional or the expensive cymbals. They sound the best and you will have the most options in terms of the aspects that influence the sound. Once again, buying a pack will be great value for money, but you will have plenty of options to choose from. Just remember, there is a reason why all of the professional artists, and you can name them, Benny Greb, Eric Moore, Tony Royster Jr., all of those guys play B20 cymbals. When you watch a concert or you listen to a recording, the chances are great that the cymbals that you are hearing is a B20 bronze cymbal. Okay, so now you're going to tell me that you can't just go to the store and test all of these. The best advice I can give you is to go onto all of the different manufacturers' websites and have a listen to all of their cymbals. They will have a sound clip for every single cymbal played in different ways. I know this is a bit more research, but in the end, it's totally worth it. Remember that in terms of the brand that you buy, this is all down to your personal preference. In my opinion, these are the top 5 brands to have a look at the moment. So before you guys go shouting at me in the comment section saying, oh, this stuff is way too expensive, there are some alternatives. Brands like Omet Cymbals, Anatolian, or T-cymbals will offer you B20 hand-hammered cymbals for considerably less. So if you don't necessarily want to sell a kidney, then these brands will offer you beautiful cymbals and plenty of options to choose from. Remember that in the end, it all boils down to what's going to work best for you in terms of the price and the sound. Cymbals are there to create your own unique voice, and that's going to be different for everyone. Please let me know in the comments which brands and cymbals you love and why you fell in love with them. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you at the next one.